Anytime I go to Japan, I always go like with a small little plan written. Besides my first trip, because we was 10-day trip. So I'm like, okay, on first day, we're gonna go do all this. Second day, I had to because we had so many things we wanted to go hit. But after that, I never really had a major plan. I always went with just kind of like, hey, let me write a few things down of things I definitely need to make sure I go do. And then after that, I'll just let things happen the way it is. So usually on my flights going there, it's a long flight. It's like 10, 11 hours. All of a sudden I'm like thinking, I'm like, man, hopefully I have a fun time because I'm about to fly out there for like 5 days. And then every time I get on the ground, it's just one thing blossoms to another. Next thing you know, I find myself doing the coolest and most incredible things. So on my second trip there, which was when I was going for Tokyo Auto Salon, which was an absolutely incredible week, 5 days there, I was picking up my car in Hamamatsu from Space Auto, driving my 34 GTR, 3 hours to Tokyo, because that's how far it is. And on my way, I was thinking, Daigo Sato, for whatever reason, he kept on popping up in my mind. And, I have my C06 drift car and I built it because of him. Like I saw him on YouTube and Instagram with his C6 Corvette. I was like, I wanted to build something like that. And that's why I built it. Well, then all of a sudden I'm driving to Tokyo and I just quickly just look on my phone. I'm like, I wonder where his shop is at, because Japan's kind of interesting. Like shops could be anywhere. It could be near Tokyo or it could be 4 hours from Tokyo. So I look it up, I'm like, oh crap, it's like maybe 30, 45 minutes out my way near Tokyo. I'm like, I can go there. I figured he's definitely not gonna be there. So I just drive there and I get there, he's not there. But there is one guy at the shop because it was getting kind of late. It was like almost 6 p.m. or so. And sun was getting ready to set. And I walk in the shop and I see the guy that's working on the car there, mechanic, doesn't speak English, but I walk up to him, I use my translator app and I write, hey, I'm just here just to take a look at the shop. I know Daigo Sato from YouTube and Instagram and he's super cool and he's a legend. And by the way, I race in NASCAR. And then he sees the NASCAR thing and he's like, oh, you race NASCAR? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, hold on, so then he gets on the phone. I'm like wondering who he's calling. And then he gets off the phone. He's like, Daigo, be here soon. And I was like, what the heck? Like Daigo's gonna come here and get to meet the van. A few minutes later, Daigo shows up at the shop. He barely speaks English too, like barely, but he can understand some. I'm like, dude, you're freaking awesome. You're a legend. I show him my drift car. And right when I show it, he immediately knew it was a Z06. He's like, Z06? And I'm like, yes. And I was like, I built it because of you, like everything you do. And then I was like, can I get a tour of the shop? I want to film it for my YouTube and all that stuff. And he's like, yeah. So he takes me on a tour. And once again, he speaks barely a little bit of English. So just kind of trying to speak a little English about each car. He has a C4ZR1 there, like just like getting built. It has like crazy wide body R32 GTR. I mean, everything, crazy Supra. We go through the whole tour and then at the very end, I'm thinking like that was amazing itself. I can sleep well tonight. And I'm getting ready to leave and all of a sudden he's like, want to drift? And I was like, yeah, like Daigo Sato asking me if I want to drift. Yeah, I want to drift. So I knew he had his little drift land. It's called Fat Five Land. He had that at some other shop. I didn't know where it was at, but I knew he had it because I've seen it on Instagram. And then we drive over there. It's like maybe 5-6 minutes away. We get there and then we hop into this little beat up Miata drift car that he has there for fun. It's like a play toy there. And he gives me a ride and just drifting, riding the wall, like everything. I'm like, this is absolutely sick. Like the legend himself is drifting me around in this car. Then we hop out and he tosses me the keys. It's like, go, do it. I was like, what? I'm like, I'm getting to drift this guy's car here at Fat Five Land. I'm like, this is absolutely incredible. I never even planned this or thought this would ever happen in my life. And then one of the coolest things ever is I hopped out of the car after I'm done, like just roll. I mean, I was rolling. I was just having so much fun, drifting everywhere. And I hop out and then he gave me this compliment. He's like, you can drift, And I was like, thank you. Thank you. I was like, that was incredible. And one of the coolest experiences ever. Daigo's super cool. And I definitely want to make it back there again, and then see what other cool stuff he has there. This guy has some incredible cars he owns. Obviously throughout the years, he's won a lot of drift competitions. He's one of the best drifters out there from Japan. And he has like at Fat Five Land, he has like this big glass enclosed building with these amazing Ferraris. Like, I mean, just pristine sitting there. He's built the craziest cars. I mean, he built a R35 GTR drift car. He's built a Murcielago drift car. He took a Hakuska GTR and threw a Mopar NASCAR V8 in it and turned that into a drift car. He's just done the craziest, wildest builds. He took the C6 GT3 race car that was meant for road coursing and turned it into a drift car, right? And then the engine he threw in it was a NASCAR V8. He has like a huge love for NASCAR V8s, like whatever it is. Like he has like a bunch of them. He just throws them to whatever he wants. I think he was just recently working on some crazy old school classic, like long, I don't even know what it was, but he was like turning into a drift car. Like he just does that. He's like, if he thinks it's a cool car, he's like, I can turn it into a drift car. So anyways, the guy's super incredible. And every time I go to Japan, it's just amazing experiences. That same trip, one of my friends who's there, who actually works with Top Rank, hit me up after Tokyo Auto Salon. Hey, there's some meets going on tonight. If you want to come roll with us, we're going to head to some. But I didn't know what to do. And I was like, sure, I'll roll with you. We end up going to a super ultra secret underground Tokyo meet. And when I say underground, like parking garage underground, like when you pulled up to like the gate, there's a guy just like in Tokyo Drift who like hits the button to like let you in. Like he checks the list, make sure like it was crazy. I'm like, it's like Tokyo Drift. And we get there and the sickest, cleanest builds ever from RWB Porsches. There had to be at least like 15 of them there. R34 GTRs, R32s, R33s. There was a Diablo there. Like it's one of the sickest looking Diablos I've ever seen in my life. Was there, slammed to the freaking ground, like 2 centimeters above the ground. Like just epic cars. Shelby Cobras, I mean, everything you could think of was there. Everything was super clean, and man, it was an amazing experience. And once again, I didn't plan for that. Like I just thought I'd go to a normal like Daikoku meet and all that stuff. I had no clue I was gonna go to this underground meet. And then from there we rolled to this other like super late night, midnight meet. We had all these 34 GTRs rolling with us. I mean, it was just super incredible time. But yeah, every time I go to Japan, it's always amazing, and I can't wait to the next trip.
Between cannonballs and rallies and car treks, I've been on well over 100 road trips, but one of the things that I always see is that nobody else is terribly prepared. And this is not just a jab at Freddie, but generally people don't bring the tools, the supplies, and the things they need to make it all the way to the destination of their road trip. And so I decided, after building kind of the kit that I take between cars for the long drives I go in unreliable vehicles, as the ultimate road trip survival kit. And you'll find a link in the description below to an Amazon shopping cart of the things that I think you need in order to get there, and get there without a tow bill attached to it. So check it out now, buy what you think you want, let me know in the comments what I left out, and we'll try to keep refining it so we can build the ultimate road trip survival box.